Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Whatever time of day you're watching this, it's a good day because the Saints beat the Falcons, tied up the all time series record, and completely and thoroughly shattered their spirits week one into the season. Um, so, obviously, if you're watching this, you saw the game or at least saw the results of the game. Jameis Winston and the entire offense did not look good at all. I'm being nice for three quarters, and then exploded in the fourth quarter and looked like a juggernaut. And so, what we're going to talk about today is why I think that happened and how they can build on that. And I think it's definitely, I mean, it's everything is always, it's multiple factors coming together. Atlanta probably playing a little bit of prevent, at least at first, allowing them to get into a rhythm, being up big, the mental letdown, the other components, all of those things are there. But I actually don't, I don't think it's just those. I do think them going more into shotgun helped the offensive line. It helped Jameis. But more than anything else, I fully believe, and I do, and this is why I also believe it's something they can build on. I fully believe the reason that the offense looked so much better in the fourth quarter is kind of one of the oldest cliches in sports. KYP, know your personnel. The offense they were running the first three quarters is Drew's offense, and here's what I mean. Not just that the system is a West Coast based system. It's all about timing and precision, but how they were running it. Drew and Sean built this offense to Drew's strengths, and one of his greatest strengths was accuracy, and another one of his greatest strengths is how quickly he was able to process information. Drew and Sean would use formations, tons of different personnel groupings, tons of different formations, and then different personnel and different groupings within the same formations, giving teams the same looks to allow Drew to diagnose information. That's why a lot of times they would set the first 15 to those first 15 scripted plays. It wasn't just to score a lot of times. It was for Drew to be able to get a lot of information about what the other side is running and then start picking them apart as the game goes along. I'm not saying Jameis isn't smart. I'm not saying he doesn't know football. I'm not saying he can't do those things. What I am going to say is Drew is the type of player where, okay, they're running this, so when my foot hits the ground the second time on my drop, I need to check my first or second, first, second read, whichever it is. Like, this spot should have the advantage. I'm immediately going to check that. So it's boom, boom, him. No? Okay, one more boom, him, throw it the fuck away. That was how Drew operated. Drew was, okay, this formation against this defense, if these guys do what I think they're going to do, this guy should be open at this time, so when my foot hits the ground here, ball's out. And that's not who Jameis is. Could he become a player like that? Yeah, I mean, if he gets 10 years in the same offense, then it can become second nature. Jameis is more of a trust my guys type player. To a degree, like the Callaway touchdown against the Patriots from last year. He's like, he's up there somewhere. God got that one. It's funny and it's a meme, but to a degree, it's also who he is. And I don't mean that he's dumb or that he's not smart. Every report we've ever seen about Jameis, he's a bit of a football savant. But it's how you operate. It's what is your default. Jameis is not a pure this formation and this thing means this guy at this exact second ball out type player. Jameis is more of a play by feel guy. Again, this is by observation. I could be wrong, but this is what I'm seeing. What I saw them start doing and having success with was going, we have three wide receivers that can win one-on-one. So we have three wide receivers that Jameis has a ton of trust in, plus Alvin. Until he was out late at the game, and Nick Underhill reported he's okay, so we'll assume that he is. But we have these three receivers who all can win one-on-one, who I can all trust to throw the ball whenever. So we're going to start playing them off each other, And instead of just playing to the formation, Jameis is more of a play to the player guy. Okay, their defense is in this setup. This guy's the X. The X has the advantage on this one. That's the first place I'm looking. And it's less about this guy at this depth, at this time, at this exact second in my drop, that's where the ball needs to go. Partially because Jameis has a stronger arm than Drew, so he doesn't have to be as perfect with the timing. It's more about giving his guys a chance. And I fully expect, it could be wrong, but I fully expect that over the next several weeks, if they shift the offense to focus more on that, especially earlier in the games, where Jameis can go, I'm going to trust my guys to make plays, and they run more plays, out of bunches, out of shotgun, off of play action, yes, but run more plays where Jameis has the ability to go, this guy, this guy, this guy. Somebody has an advantage, find who has the advantage, give him the damn ball. Then he builds the rhythm. Then you can run the rest of the offense the way it's designed to be run, as we saw them do in the fourth quarter, where they started to do more normal Saints offense things. And it started to look like, this is the Saints offense. Rhythm and tempo and staying in front of the chains and taking advantage. But how do you get that advantage? I don't think the way you can approach it with Jameis is pure tons of formations and tons of groupings and personnel in and personnel out, because that's not going to give him the data he needs to play his best football like it did Drew. To give him the best data he needs to play his best football, you need to line your best guys up against their best guys and let him see who has an advantage, and then he can start picking on it. And when Mike started to look like Mike and started to get all crazy face and started whipping A.J. Terrell, and Jameis kept going to him, and then they're shading over to Jarvis, and then Jameis knows, well, they shaded here. They started shading over to Mike. Okay, cool. Jarvis is here. Oh, Jarvis can play off of Olave. Olave makes a couple of quick plays. They are like, crap, he's got speed. We don't want the big play. We respect him. Again, Juice can benefit. Juwan had a couple of plays where he benefited. All of that came together in the fourth because you were able to give Jameis the data that he needed to be able to process the game the way he processes the game. And then he's looked like a much better quarterback. And I fully believe that the data that Jameis needs to process is about his playmakers far more than it is about the formations. Again, it's not that he can't read defenses. It's not that he is stupid. It's that putting it into a more of a technical aspect, what's your encryption key? You got the wrong encryption key, you can't read the data. Drew and Jameis have different encryption keys. You need to give them data in a format they can read, that they can understand, that they can process. And Jameis is a give my playmakers the ball type guy. Think of Drew when he had Jimmy towards the end, and it was like whatever the read is, Jimmy's got the advantage. I'm throwing to Jimmy, and it worked because Jimmy was awesome. Well, we now have Jarvis, Mike, and Olave. They're all awesome. They're all really, really good, talented wide receivers. You have a quarterback who's going to play off that. So do it. So that's my theory. We'll see how that pans out over the next several weeks. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. And if you didn't, go ahead and comment anyway and let me know how much I suck. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll be back later this week to discuss who I think is going to win next week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.